Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So I don't know about you, but seeing all of these superstar players get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs just really has me thinking that the NBA is just like shifting into an entirely new era, right, man? Just like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, all those guys out in one night, it's just kind of hard to think about. We all love the game of basketball. We all got so many memories, but it's like, hey, like there's a new era coming in. Trae Young, Luka Doncic, guys like that. Devin Booker, of course, although he's been around for a while, man, balling out. But regardless, man, it's like a new era of basketball is upon us. Now, with that being said, Damian Lillard is going to be the topic of today's video, guys. And when it comes down to it, man, like, you feel so bad for the man. You know, I understand that winning an NBA championship is very tough. It's a very tough thing to do. Only one team can win every single year. And typically speaking, going back to like 2005, there's been, you know, LeBron James has been in it, or like Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. It's really hard to win one, right, man? But getting eliminated in the first round of the playoffs just is not really acceptable. And I'm not blaming that on Damian by any stretch of the imagination. I'm blaming that just on the Portland Trailblazers management and just their inability to get like a new style of team around Damian, man. They almost roll the same thing every single season, and enough is enough. So for today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about 5 different trades. We're going to be talking about 3 trades that I think the Portland Trailblazers could do this NBA offseason to at least make them somewhat of a better team, and then 2 trades, you know, assuming that they're just going to fall on rebuild mode. It's like, all right, like let's trade Damian Lillard away, man. We're gonna talk about 5 trades. You guys let me know what your trades in the comment section below. But the first thing I really have to point out when it comes to these trades of making Portland better, I don't think they have great trade value right now, man. I don't think there's a lot of great trade value on the Portland Trailblazers. You know, CJ McCollum is cool, but the thing about CJ, you know, at the age of 29, getting paid about $30 million a season, I don't think by trading him away, you are going to get like a superstar. You're not going to get some big, huge name player for him. There might be a few cases out there where you can get somebody, but I think the direction that Portland needs to go anyway is to just get great talent at a different position. The thing about CJ McCollum is that the way he plays the game, I think, is actually pretty damn close to Damian, just like his style of play. And in my opinion, man, like CJ, I feel like by going to a different team could really be a lot more recognized, and really just like his abilities would be a lot more, you know, utilized and everything, right? Man, he's already a great basketball player. I love CJ McCollum, but the fact of the matter is that this Portland Trailblazers team, they simply do not need him. And not to mention, I already think they have the replacement in Norman Powell. Like, Norman Powell is a bucket. I feel like you put him at the 2 spot, you're good to go, right, man? So yeah, I'm looking at the rest of the roster right now, and I just don't see a ton of big-time trade value. There's trades to be made, man. You know, I was talking about it on Twitter, and, you know, I had some Portland fans saying, oh, we're just going to, you know, free up some money and sign Kawhi Leonard this NBA offseason. I feel like that's a very irresponsible choice to bank on that, especially Kawhi Leonard. Like, he doesn't let you know anything till the last moment anyways. So, the fact of the matter, can you imagine just, like, trading away all your talent to free up cap space, and then Kawhi is just like, yeah, I'm going back to the Clippers. Like that, and it's like where does that leave the Portland Trailblazers and Damian Lillard? Just absolutely horrendous place. It's not a very deep free agent class, so building via free agency this season is really not it. What I think they need to do is they need to take CJ's contract and they need to somehow split it into more manageable deals, but also deals in which, you know, the team can still stay competitive, and then hopefully, you know, by the 2022 NBA offseason, you can get that big name to sign next to Damian Lillard. Like I said, man, right now, there's a few trades we're going to talk about that I think could keep this team really competitive, but as far as trading for a big name superstar, I just don't really see an opportunity there. If you guys have one, you guys let me know in the comment section below what you think could get done. So here we go, man. Here are the 3 Portland Trailblazer trades that, in my opinion, make sense. You might disagree. That's completely fine, man. That's what I love about basketball and discussion. Like, we can have disagreements. You guys let me know in the comment section below. So one that I was talking about on Twitter that I was kind of like split 50-50 on between people was the idea of CJ McCollum over to the Detroit Pistons in exchange for Jeremy Grant and Mason Plumlee. The reason I like this deal for the Detroit Pistons is because, you know, and this is assuming the Pistons draft a front court player, but we got guys like Sadiq Bey and Sekou Doumbouya who need to develop and stuff, and they are, you know, forwards out there. So that gets Jeremy Grant off the team, frees up those positions and minutes for the, you know, the young bloods out there. But also, CJ McCollum takes heavy pressure off of Killian Hayes in the shooting guard spot. And, yeah, I just think he would really shine in Detroit. And then meanwhile, for the Portland Trailblazers, this is one of those cases where, you know, you got to realize this is not the only move that needs to be done. Like, other stuff can happen. But Jeremy Grant has a fantastic contract. You know, 2 years, about $20 million per season left on it. Fantastic deal. takes him right into that 22 NBA offseason where he'll still only be due $20 million, free up a lot of cap space to sign some big name players. And Jeremy could be like your second or third option for this next NBA season, right? Him with Norman Powell, Damian Lillard, I think is a really solid team. You get the defense, you get the offense. He was running for most improved player. Now, he's not a number one option on a championship team, but, you know, a number two, number three scoring option, I think would work out very, very nicely. And then meanwhile, you know, Mason Plumlee has a pretty solid deal, about $7 million a season. He's a guy that's going to, you know, grab some rebounds, score a little bit on the inside, catch some lobs, you know, play a little bit of defense, and he's actually a pretty good passer too. He had some triple doubles for the Detroit Pistons this offseason. So that's about $7 million, could be your center for a few seasons. That would allow them to trade away Nurkic and improve some other spots, right? So I thought overall that trade, like I said, one of those cases where I don't really know what type of superstar you're going to get. And, you know, there might need to be some more pieces and trades and draft picks or whatever attached to get that done. But I just thought, you know, on the top of things, that wasn't a bad look for both sides. And I'm a Piston fan saying that, so it's not like I'm just like, oh yeah, the Pistons should just give away Jeremy Grant. I fully believe that that would be a beneficial trade for my team. Okay, next up, now this is one of the cases where it doesn't really put them in a better financial situation, but it does get them two quality players. And this one I'm still kind of back and forth in my mind about, but this would be, you know, CJ McCollum and whatever other assets need to be included over to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Colin Sexton and Kevin Love. We've been talking about Kevin Love on the team for like 5 years now. I think it needs to happen. I still think Kevin Love has something left in his tank. And when it comes down to it, you know, Colin Sexton, the Cleveland Cavaliers management, it sounds like based off rumor he might get traded away. So Colin Sexton, I mean, he is a good offensive-oriented guard, brings some good defense, would be interesting in the backcourt nonetheless with Damian Lillard. And then, of course, you get Kevin Love, who can be like a third option on this team. Now they already do have Norman Powell on the team too. So, you know, like I said, this one was just kind of like, it's all right. And then meanwhile, CJ McCollum goes over to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think he's a perfect backcourt mate for Darius Garland. You know, you get away from Kevin Love, you get away from the drama of Colin Sexton and whatever's going on there, if anything's going on there, and there you go. Not my favorite trade of the bunch by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it kind of made sense just to low-key get some talent over with Damian Lillard, assuming that Kevin Love is not completely washed up and is maybe just having a Blake Griffin type of moment. And then we got my third trade. I would say this guy right here is probably your best bet for getting like a star alongside Damian. And this is going to assume that the Clippers just lose in like the first round or the second round of the playoffs. You know, straight up CJ McCollum for Paul George. Paul George, one of the greatest catch-and-shoot players in the NBA, can create his own shot, plays a small forward position. Him and Damian Lillard would be pretty damn interesting. I think that second option for him, but also that role of him not needing to be the clutch player, because that's no doubt going to be Damian Lillard, I think is a great move. Then meanwhile, you get Norman Powell back for the 2 spot. You got Nurkic at the center spot. Do whatever you need to, get whoever you need to get for the power forward spot, and all of a sudden you are going to contend again. And it's a pretty good situation. Then meanwhile, assuming Kawhi goes back to the Clippers, you know, he gets a new guy with CJ McCollum, shooting guard. Guy can handle the basketball, make plays for others. It makes complete sense for me, man. So yeah, those are my 3 trades to make the Portland Trailblazers better right now. Not all of them are great for the long term, but based off a weak free agent class, you know, you kind of got to work with what you got. This is assuming you want to trade CJ McCollum away. Maybe they don't trade him away and they just try to get better in other routes. I mean, they had Robert Covington, they had you know, brought back Carmelo Anthony, they got Derrick Jones Jr., and a lot of those moves just were kind of like fine. They didn't work out as much as I think the team planned on them working out. So yeah, you got to keep that in mind too. And now we get to the big trade, man, the big trades. This is 2 trades that I think would be pretty damn interesting to get Damian Lillard on another squad, a big market team. I think a lot of people want to see that. Now, let me just say straight up, Portland fans, although I'm sure you guys probably stopped watching by now because I feel like I've offended you guys at this point. Let me just say, man, I know what it's like to be a fan of a small market team. I know what it's like to wake up every day to 20 tweets of people saying, you know, free Blake Griffin, free Derrick Rose. And it's like, man, leave me alone. Like, are we not suffering enough? Are we not suffering enough? So, you know, I feel bad for you guys. But at the same time, you all have Damian for a very hell of a long time, man. A very long time you guys have had Damian. So let's talk about Damian to the Knicks. I love to see him, man. I think you guys could get some real talent back. Now, this one would be interesting because you really have to gauge how, you know, how attached the Knicks are to some of their young players. Now, let's not get it twisted. You know, Knicks fans are kind of flexing these days. You guys were a first-round exit. I'm just saying, man. When Pistons was a first-round exit, I got roasted for it, so you can't flex when you're a first-round exit, too. I'm just saying, man. Now, respect to the Knicks, what they did this season, but let's keep it. What I'm trying to get at with Knick fans here is keep it realistic with trade value. You know, realize to get Damian Lillard, you're not going to get him for damn, like, Reggie Bullocks in a second-round pick. You got to give up a hell of a lot to get a man like Damian on your team. And the focus of this trade is to get him next to Julius Randle. Julius Randle was bad in the playoffs. Julius Randle is a second option, third option type of player on a championship team, man. He would flourish next to Damian Lillard. You guys want to see that. So the trade I have is RJ Barrett or Emmanuel Quickley. Not both. I don't think both of them. You know, Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, and some picks. Like I said, I'm not giving up RJ and Emmanuel. I feel like that's too much. But let's assume we go with RJ Barrett in this case, right? RJ Barrett, that's the future all-star talent. You know, Mitchell Robinson. Knicks don't really need Mitchell Robinson. They don't really need him. They can find, like, other solutions for the center spot. Obi Toppin, I think, is going to be really good, but he plays the same position as Julius Randle. So he goes to go to Portland to develop over there, and some picks, man. Like, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Then all of a sudden, you know, assuming they keep Emmanuel Quickley going to next season with, you know, obviously with Damian Quickley at the 2 spot, whoever you get for the small forward spot, you got Julius Randle. Maybe bring that back Nerlens Noel, who was like top 5 in blocks this season. He was completely fine. Hopefully bring Derrick Rose back. Him with Damian Lillard splitting time at the point guard spot or playing in the backcourt together would be a lot of fun to watch too. I feel like, yo, the idea of like Derrick Rose closing out games with Damian Lillard and Damian shifting to the 2 spot, beautiful thing to watch, man. I would absolutely love to see that. And I feel like that would become like instantly like the NBA's most favorite team. Like, who doesn't want to see D Rose and Damian win a ring? I know I do. So, yeah, that'd be a nice little change of pace right there, man. And then the last one, Damian Lillard to the Los Angeles Lakers, man. Okay, let me just go off the record to say the Lakers always seem to figure shit out, bro. They always seem to figure out how to do something big. They can pull something out of nothing, man. Hey, I'm just going to say it. Kwame Brown for Pau Gasol. Yes, they also gave away Marc Gasol, but nobody knew Marc was going to be that good. In the time, Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown was the damn trade, bro. That happened. So them Laker fans know how to finesse. So the trade I have would be Damian for Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma, THT, whoever else. I don't think they got that many players signed up to contracts this actual offseason. And like 3 to 5 first-round picks, man, until the end of time. However picks you need to get Damian with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, you do it. Re-sign Drummond and Marc Gasol to a really cheap contract. Get KCP back. You guys are good to go, man. That's a championship team, okay? But not only that, that allows gracefully for LeBron James to eventually, like, retire. And then it shifts the reins of the team to Damian Lillard and Anthony Davis. And then eventually, you know, they'll sign another superstar. And then Damian will retire. And then Anthony Davis and that superstar are the next duo. They sign somebody else that just goes on forever and ever, man. It's just success for the rest of your life in LA. I think it's a good route to go there, man. So yes, those are my trades. I'm not going to go off and say they're perfect. You know, a lot of these I did look at, and it's just like, these are things that came to my mind right away. And typically that's like what I like to do is, you know, my gut feeling, man. Like, how do I feel about this? I really like to go all into that. So yeah, you guys let me know in the comment section below. There's a lot of you guys that watch my videos. Let me know, man, like, what's your trade looking like? That's all we got for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.